Ant, how are you?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Yeah, very well. Nice to see you. So first of all, like the last 15 months, you've kind of been through what most people wouldn't go through in a lifetime. So, I mean, where are you at the moment?
I'm just literally where I'm sitting. I try not to go into my mind too much. I just get on with it day to day and deal with what needs to be dealt with.
Because, I mean, obviously, I won't dwell on this too much, but I know you lost your father and your grandmother in the space of a few days, and as horrific as that wasn't at the end of it, was it?
Exactly. But it's life. A lot of people went through the same thing, and I'll keep saying the same thing. I'm just a person that's in the public eye. That's why there's a line shining it. You know, there's a big thing that went on recently. I didn't know too much about it with the Palestine thing. It's hard to not see things when you're on social media. Because of my mind space and the things I was going through, the things I was dealing with, I didn't even want to see it. I didn't want to, it's not even really promote it, but I know you need to spread awareness, but I didn't even want to put my head in that space because it's depressing. You know, when you talk about death and you're seeing children dying and things like that, it upsets me and it puts your energy low. So I try to stay away from it. And you know, sometimes all you can do is say a prayer, you know, behind closed doors. Sometimes it don't need to always be public.
Yeah, I mean, because every time I'd seen you previously, you were saying the same thing, that you were essentially getting on with things, you'd done your grieving. But then I think on New Year's Eve on Facebook, you just put little posts up saying you'd had a bit of a delayed reaction. I guess you can soldier for so long, and then things can sort of hit you like a wave, can't they?
Literally, you don't know how you're gonna react to something until it happens. I always say that to people. Even like with the world title fight I had, with losses in life, you don't know how you're gonna react until it happens. So when everything first happened, I was on this high horse saying, "Come on!" I was being the backbone for everyone in my family, and then it hit me at the wrong time. But again, it's always that's what I always say to people. I say, if you're going through something, go through it, and focus on yourself as well first. That's what I didn't do. I focused on everyone around me. I focused on the cameras, making sure everyone was okay. And I was at my dad's funeral, rehearsing in my head what I'm going to say to people. And again, that's not healthy.
No, and I know you went to Mexico.
Absolutely.
For a few weeks. Did that help sort of exercise the demons a bit? You know, just take you away from the situation?
I wouldn't even say it helped. I feel like if there's a word better than helped, that's what it did. I needed that break. I needed the sunshine. You know, we're getting a little bit of it now in Britain, but I needed the sunshine. I needed good people around me. I needed to see my family relax. That was the main thing. My mum, my sister just had a baby, so my little brother, there was an environment that I needed. I needed that little break. I needed to clear my mind, you know, sit in front of the sea. And even at night, I was going to the seafront at night and just literally crying. Again, I'm one of them open people. I'm not a crier. But recently I was literally, not recently, but around that time I was letting it out.
Yeah, and well, like in the middle of all this like, trauma stuff, you just happened to have like this massive fight with Lyndon Arthur as well. And I mean, afterwards, I don't think, I'm used to going to your dressing room, high fives, lines in the camp, apart from Kovalev, okay, that's a different story, but I've never seen you so angry after the Lyndon Arthur fight.
Do you know, it's all part of experience. I felt like I had done enough to win the fight. In real life time, I felt like I dominated. But again, when I watched it back, I saw some of what the judges were seeing. And again, I got good people around me. And some of my friends were saying, it's not that we think you lost the fight, but there's an expectation. You know, there's an expectation of you. And that's something, because I watch boxing as well, when there's an expectation of you, if you ain't dominating or knocking somebody out, it looks like, or it's perceived as they're doing something to stop you from doing that. Again, I analysed it. I still feel like it was, you know, people say it was a close fight. It could have went either way. And I'm just looking forward to the rematch.
Yeah, 100%. I think, yeah, because at the time, like you said, you were livid. You know, you thought you'd been robbed blind, but I guess sometimes you can learn more from a fight
100%.
you don't have all your own way, can't you?
100%. Even the robbery talk, I don't like to. I said it as well. I said I don't like to use the word robbery, and it wasn't a robbery. But when you're in the heat of the moment, you know, people like to pick at things. You know, when you're a fighter, you just come. Even when you spar, sometimes you know you have arguments with your trainer, or you start a thing because you're heated. But when I analysed it, I just saw it as, look, cool. It was a close fight, especially with certain angles. They say different angles of the ring. You know, one judge had it wide to me. The other two judges had it very close in his favour. So it's just perspective, how people see it. And sometimes it's the angles of the ring. So it's things I'm learning bit by bit.
And after that defeat, you said you were going to make some changes.
Yes.
And you've brought in James Cook.
Yes, James Cook. You know, he's just basically like it's another eye of analytics. So he sees certain things. He's very experienced as well. He's a respected man in boxing, MBE, and you know, he's known Tunde for a long time. I've known him from when I first started boxing. Always gave me advice as well. Came into the TKO gym, knew Tony Cisse, so it just worked. And he was available. So that's what happened.
And him and Tunde just sort of bouncing off each other a bit, and you know, something he might pick up that maybe Tunde didn't, and vice versa. Exactly.
The main thing for me is, you know, on fight night, he can be the third eye as well. Maybe give some advice of what he's seeing, and yeah, he's watched a couple of training sessions and he's impressed.
And there's a lot of people on social media predicting me at the time when you said big changes. Got to get rid of Tunde. Got to get rid of Tunde. Got to get rid of Tunde.
That's just boxing. I'm a person that watches, and you could say studies the sport. And everyone said that to Canelo. When Canelo lost against Floyd, complete different levels. But when Canelo lost to Floyd, everyone said that to Canelo. He done an interview on Hot Boxing on Mike Tyson's page, and he said the same thing. He said he knew what he needed to change. He knew what went wrong. There's been so many fighters in the past that everyone was saying, change your trainer. But no one was saying that when I was knocking everyone out in the first round. No one's perfect again. The team I've got around me, we've all grown together. You know, we all learn on the job. I was very inexperienced in terms of my amateur fights, my professional fights. Tunde's had some experience as well, but in being a head coach, you can say he's inexperienced as well at the world level. But we're all growing together, and that's what it's about. I feel like that's going to be the main bit of the story. Even Ade Inca, no experience, but he's just got a mentality that I thrive off of, and he pushes me a lot. So I feel like it's the story that counts.
And here we are. We're back in training, and it might surprise some of your detractors that you're actually going to be doing some sparring as well.
Yeah. That's something that just got blown out of proportion. The people that say I don't spar, they're newcomers. They're just newcomers, because people that knew me from the amateurs, people that knew me early in my career, I was sparring James Aguil when I was an amateur. I sparred Chris Eubank Jr. as an amateur. I went to Floyd's gym and was sparring Andrew Tabiti and things like that. So people that know, I do spar. I just don't like to have wars in the gym too often. It's necessary sometimes, but I just don't like to have wars. Angelo Dundee as well, he said it. He said he don't allow his fighters to have wars in the gym. The second they start warring, he throws them out. And then you've got the opposite end of the spectrum with Freddie Roach. He loves wars in the gym. It just depends on people's tactics and how people think it should go.
And next up, Atra from Germany. You know, he's certainly no pushover. So unbeaten, 17 wins, 12 KOs. What's he going to bring to the table?
We'll see on the night. Some people know I'm pissed off. So again, there's going to be a lot of aggression there, but at the same time, I'm not silly. And I'm just literally looking, the main thing I'm looking forward to is having the crowd back. You know, hearing the roar of the crowd, and you actually feel like you're entertaining instead of, you know, hearing echoes in the arena.
I mean, that's it with you, isn't it? I mean, some fighters, you know, they're having no crowd, they're almost suits them, but you're very much, you like to play to the crowd, you like to give the crowd what they want. Well,
that's what I've been screaming that I've been screaming that from I turned pro. It's about entertaining the fans, it's about entertainment. And when no one's there, you look at the cameras and you see a couple of people in the arena, it's not the same. You see someone like Josh Warrington as well. He needs a crowd. You've seen it with his last performance. And he's a person that thrives off the crowd.
Yeah, and also on that night, of course, Lyndon Arthur. I guess it's all gearing towards a rematch at some point.
Of course. The rematch is it has to happen basically. I wanted it immediately, but again, there's things that have gone on in the background. But as long as it happens for me, I'm happy.
And obviously, from your point of view, you're going to put things right, and it's going to be a different outcome.
Of course. Sometimes in boxing, yeah, you can say what you want, but it comes down to the net. So that's where I'm just taking each fight as it comes, but that rematch has to come. So when that does come, I'm ready for it. And
you'll be in the same room as him on Tuesday in the press conference. It'll be the first time you've clapped eyes on each other since that night.
Yeah, but the thing with me and Lyndon Arthur is there's not really any bad blood. There's not really any bad blood. It's just literally, I know it sounds cliche, but it's just business. Again, I'm a person. There's no hate and bone in my body. I'm happy for him. I don't know his path or what he's been through. I was happy for myself as well when I started doing extremely well. I'm happy for anyone that's up and coming or doing their thing. So I congratulate him. I congratulate him afterwards, after the heat settled or whatever. We had a little conversation on Instagram. And but again, when it comes back to it, it's same thing again, back to business. And
not only that, he also sent you a nice message, didn't you, after what you'd been through in your personal life?
With the family. Yeah, a few boxers. Even another rival in the boxing game, Joshua Boax, he messaged me. A lot of boxers, a lot of sports people, a lot of entertainers messaged me about it. So it's not nice to keep getting reminded, but it's life, it happens. And yeah, it just shows you who's good and who's,
Yeah, but you've obviously got, I know we've got to get this fight first, but you've got every confidence, excuse me, you can beat Lyndon this time.
Of course, I feel like I won the first fight, but again, for me, it's just, you have to do everything convincingly. There's no room for close decisions. And for me, again, the only way to do that is to knock somebody out.
And unlike some of these guys, you've been in a world championship, right? You've been literally in the lion's den in Russia, very nearly went your way. Obviously, a few fights down the line, you want to be back in that arena again. You've tasted it once.
Of course, that's the goal. When I first started boxing, a lot of people told me it was impossible to even get to the stage I'm at now, where everyone's talking about me, I'm spoken about, I'm a prospect and all these kind of things. A lot of people said it was impossible, so that's like my motivation. And sometimes when things don't go your way, it lights something. So again, that's why I'm just, I'm ready.
And the main thing, you getting back into that ring, like I say, won't touch on that again, but it's not been a great year. But you did say in that Facebook message that you're confident that 2021 is going to be much better for you.
Well, it has to be. It has to be. That's just my mentality. My mentality, and what helps me is knowing that I'm not alone in it. People around the world go through it. People that I know go through it. Again, the whole COVID situation, it took from a lot of people in terms of, business. People lost their jobs. People lost their family members. People, people went through all sorts of things. So I feel like we're in the era right now. When you see people trolling on social media, I just want to know what's going through their mind, because everybody's going through it in different ways. So it's about just uplifting each other, trying to surround yourself with people that can motivate you, that are doing good, positive people, and just get on with life, enjoy the sun.
Nice one, mate. It's good to see you back.
And you too, man. Thank you.